Today we are going to try a new video format. I am going to download an app on the App Store that I've heard about, and I'm going to just kind of give my reactions as I go through it. Now, what I would like for people to do is look in the comments below, and you'll see a link to a form. So if you have a mobile app that you want me to go through on stream, then go ahead and post it there, and I will take a look at it. I heard about this through a friend whose name is Mario, and I will post his Twitter down below as well. And this is an app called Lifesum, and I believe it's made by a company in Denmark. I didn't look deep into it, but that's the way it was described to me. And I'm just going to kind of run through it real quick. Now, before I begin, I'm not an expert, but I have worked in this industry for a few years now. And I'm just really interested in the business side of mobile apps these days, as opposed to like the actual development side. And so we're just gonna kind of go through it. So these are just reactions, unfiltered reactions. So Lifesum healthy diet plan. As I understand it, this is for, it says calorie tracking, food, fasting. Now, one thing that they're doing here is this is all ASO at the top here. So healthy diet plan is done for ASO, and the calorie tracker and fasting is done for ASO as well, and food probably is too. Now, what would be interesting is to take an ASO tracker and then type in healthy diet plan, calorie tracker, food, fasting, and see what comes up, and then see how they rank for it. So maybe a little editor's note here. I can go ahead and check that out. So first things first, it's got these update cards. I can't remember what these are called. I don't know if these are the in-app events or not. I'm still trying to learn about that stuff. But it's really cool that that's visible because it just looks amazing on the screen. And when you search Lifesum, you get both of these. You get the actual listing through an Apple search ads campaign. And then you also have this, like, I guess it's a major update, which is different compared to something like a competitor here where it's only just the cards. So I think that that's kind of interesting. The first thing I'm noticing here is the cards are very easy to read. And it says healthy eating simplified, 55 plus million lives changed, and then meal plans tailored to you. Okay, so healthy eating simplified, it says the 50% off. That didn't really communicate to me. But this first screen is actually kind of nice. It's got that really cool background, and it makes me want to know more about how the app is built. And then they have the second card, which is commonly the social proof card. And it's got the laurels, which you see everywhere, app of the day, editor's choice, and then 55 plus million lives changed. I'd be curious where they're getting that data from. Honestly, I don't think it matters. I think you can pretty much put whatever you want in here. Nobody's going to question it. But my guess is that it's based on people who have like signed up, just literally the number of users who have tried to sign up or who have signed up. And then the third one is supposed to typically be the screen that shows something that you that people might not realize that you do, right? So the okay, I know that you do healthy eating, but oh, you also do this thing. And so healthy eating simplified makes me think that it's a calorie tracker, and then meal plans is maybe like the plus one. I would like to see a stronger plus one here, but I'm going to get into the app and see what I think. It does use keto. It does call out keto burn in that third card, which is interesting because it kind of speaks towards the keto diet. So maybe that could be a plus one for a lot of folks. Okay, Lifesum. It's got this interesting card at the top. Like, how do I don't think everybody can do that, can they? I don't know how you get that hero card at the top. I'm gonna have to look into that. So it's got that hero at the top, as you can see. And then it's got the in-app events. Yep. So those must be the cards in the beginning. And now I'm actually it's got the subscriptions called out directly. Now, that's interesting. I can actually purchase a subscription from inside the app listing. I've never seen that before. So we're going to look through these. There's the third card, and then insights to build better habits. So it drills into some of the features, calorie tracking, macro tracking, tasty balance, recipes. So it's got recipes inside it. See your progress to stay motivated. So it's got progress tracking, support every step of the way. Those look like it may be like badges, like success badges. And then help me get on. Okay, and then it just says user. I like that. Help me get on a healthy schedule. Very easy to use. Keep me motivated. So I'm guessing they just pulled that from one of their reviews and then just put user, which is interesting. I've always seen people put their actual names, but I'm just going to use that because I always feel uncomfortable putting people's names up in my stuff, especially without their permission. So just doing that seems like a good escape hatch on that problem. And then their backgrounds all tie together, but they're using like a gradient pattern on these last ones. So it doesn't matter that they don't always line up. You know, if you've got like hard edges going between screens, then they never look like they line up. But if you use like a smooth gradient pattern in the background, it looks like a mesh gradient of some kind. Oh, and then you can see that they have up here at the top. I know you can't see my fingers, but up here at the top, you can see that the mesh gradient gets a little bit sharp, but they keep it horizontal so that it still looks correct. It's little super nitty things. Okay, the reviews look really good. Tons of ratings. Editor's choice. The data tracking is pretty standard. And things look really good. Okay, so now I'm just going to download it. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to let that download. So yeah, if you like this content, obviously go ahead, like and subscribe, that whole thing. It helps more than you can imagine. And let me know, more importantly than that, actually, let me know in the comments if you like this formatted video, because this is different than what's typically been on my channel. But what I've done on my channel in the past is not typically what I do. So we're going to try this out. Okay, really like the splash screen, really like the loading. I love that loading spinner. So we got the name, we got the person who looks really happy, which is like, that's an obvious win. Healthy eating simplified, love the typeface, already have an account, log in or get started. So I'm gonna do the QA thing. We're gonna do log in. See how they say continue with? It's interesting because if you look at a lot of the design guides for these sign-in providers, they often have like very clear verbiage, like sign in with Google, for example, used to be a requirement, I believe, but pretty much everybody is sticking to continue with X. And that's just what they use. And from what I've heard, I haven't tested this, it converts really, really, really well, or it converts better than doing sign in with. So we're going to do continue with. I'm curious to see if it will allow me to do this and put me into an onboarding flow if I go through the wrong path. Okay, no account found. Okay, then it can fall back to sign up, which I'm guessing is the same thing as get started. Okay, that's interesting. All right, so what goal do you have in mind? I'm actually losing weight right now. So, oh, and it tells you at the bottom, we use this information, calculate, and provide you with daily personalized recommendations. I like this onboarding flow. I have recently started to put all of my interactivity down at the bottom of the screen instead of at the top. But that's just my personal preference because then it makes it easier on large devices to thumb through. So we're going to do lose weight next. Oh, the other thing I do... Oh, that's interesting. So it's asking to send notifications right after the first question. It didn't even prime me. It just let me do the first one and then hit me with a notifications request. I'm going to do don't allow and see what happens. Okay, what section we use to calculate recommendations? Okay, this is interesting. This is a touchy subject. They've called out sex instead of gender. Which when it comes to doing math on fitness related things is actually it's a little uncomfortable, but it's the most correct way to do math because there isn't math for like non-binary folks. And what some companies do is they actually average the female and male for the non-binary calculations because there aren't really a lot of good options here. So when it comes to fitness apps, like deciding some choose like they do here to call out by sex and some choose to call it by gender and give the non-binary option. But then the companies that do that, and there's a lot of them, have a hard time figuring out what to do about the math. And so it's interesting that they've gone the sex route. So that is a whole other topic that's way above my pay grade, but it's something that I want to call out. Okay, so I'm gonna use male. One thing I like about onboarding flows is if you select something, in my opinion, it should send you to the next one automatically. Um, but I don't know. And then the next is just there for if you like go back and then go forward. What's your date of birth? We're just going to make something up. Next, what's your height? 6'3". Next, what's your current weight? Okay, so it is asking my current weight. I actually just measured myself this morning. What's your goal weight? Let's say 180. I don't like the decimals. I know that it makes sense if you're doing kilograms. I like that it actually maintains the conversion. Not perfectly, but it does a pretty good job. And then, oh, they have stones and pounds. That's interesting. It's for your UK folks. But anyway, we're going to do this like that. Okay, then it suggests how long it will take. It says it's going to take until March. So that's 2 months. That's bullshit. I'm on a cut right now, and whenever I'm on a cut, I just vastly exceed. Like when I do cuts, like this thing needs to be cranked off the screen. Um, I do cuts much, much faster than what is recommended. I would love to see an app that's just like, fuck it, we're gonna teach you how to do an unhealthy cut, like an alone diet cut, because there are people out there who do this stuff all the time. I don't know what like the legal ramifications are of doing something like that. Um, but I would love to see, like the black hat fitness app is what I want to see somebody do. Sources of recommendations. That's interesting. So you can click that and it shows you, yeah, all cookies. Okay, so it's showing the actual science to like back up like a lot of the stuff that they're showing, which is pretty cool actually. If you're going to make a competing app, then you could use that as a starting point. Okay, next. Okay, let's get your personalized program. Okay, now it wants you to sign up at the end. So that's pretty smart. It's a pretty short onboarding process, and then it hits you with a sign in. So we're going to continue with Apple. That's a great pattern. Okay, I love the watercolor. I was actually thinking about doing watercolor in one of my next apps for some of the assets, and I love it. I think it's beautiful. So, okay, your personalized health journey is ready. Super knit on this. I don't like that. I can't remember if it's an orphan or there's another name for it, but the ready in the text at the top. See how that ready is just on like its own line? I would love to have seen that be is ready at the bottom or find a way to do balanced text at the top. But that's just like a super knit. Okay, 180 to 180, 188 to 180 pounds. Follow your recommendations. You'll reach your goal on March 8th, 2024. I would love to invert this process. I have never had success using this process when it came to losing weight. The only time I ever had success with weight loss is if I essentially said, um, let's look at driving metrics instead of driven metrics. So in this case, the goal is the driven metric, right? Which is the outcome. So instead of like actually tracking the outcome, and I know that sounds counterintuitive, I like to track the things that drive the outcome. So for example, if you're hungry and then you eat more than you need to not be hungry, like that's a driving metric. So another way to say that is if you always kept yourself a little bit hungry, like how hungry you are is a driving metric to what your outcomes are going to be in terms of losing weight for most people. And that's the only time I've ever actually seen weight loss occur in my life. And I went from 240 pounds to 190 pounds in something crazy like 6 months because I was focusing on driving metrics instead of driven metrics. So maybe that's the Black Hat Fitness. Maybe that's an app I need to build. All right. So your daily nutritional recommendations. I don't know what this life score is. Like, is that like working out or something? It's kind of vague. It'd be nice if it said something like activity score or something like that. Calories, carbs, fat, protein. I actually totally disagree with the carb to protein ratio on this. That does not match my experience with this stuff. Okay, how to reach your goals. Love the watercolor. Okay, fine, don't really care. I'm gonna hit get started. So typically when they do this, they have the most important stuff at the top, and then they have a card like peek out. So you can see that one at the bottom is just peeking out from above that get started button. And so then you're like, oh, okay, I can scroll more, right? And then for people who need more information, they can get more information down below. Okay, now it's hitting me with the paywall. Be 5 times more likely to succeed with premium. Join 55 million success stories. Okay, that's interesting. This is scrollable in both directions. So I can scroll through here. Okay, great. It's showing me that there's some sort of 50% off. I can redeem a code. This is actually a pretty good paywall. I am going to not do premium for now and see what happens. Okay, should they track? I'm going to say no. Okay, so we're going to get started. They do water tracking. Am I the only one who hates water tracking? Like, I drink so much water during the day that I don't need to be sitting here, like, coming in and, like, pressing the, like... Okay, it's cool that they have the water shortcut for Siri that you can add. But, like, my God. I'm not going to sit here... And I can't bring it down if I, like, mess... Oh, wait. Yes, I kind of can. You can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm, like, trying to tap on it. And it's like pretty hard to get it to go back down. I would love to be able to just drag left to right on this element and have it go up and down. But hey, that's just me. Okay, so breakfast, we're going to try to do this. Daily intake. So let's say I have chicken, egg. Okay. And then duck egg. Okay. It's actually pretty quick. And then can of tuna. Yes, that's not right. That 389 calories for a can of tuna, that's wrong. If somebody tap that like right off the bat, they'd be screwed. The one that should be up at the top should be tuna canned in water. But even this one, I don't even know if this one's accurate. Add item to your favorite user access. Fine. Appreciate that. Want to know what makes this food so healthy? Get rating details. Oh, interesting. So it doesn't actually tell you. Okay, so this is like a small. Okay, so I think we're looking for. Even that's not correct. I can tell you that's not correct. So how do I get the right can of tuna in here? This is my problem with this stuff is look, there's so many different ones. You see this? 12-ounce can, tuna can, 100 grams. This is crazy. All right, we're gonna do. Let's check this one. So that's not even that's not correct. We're looking for one that's about 100. Okay, let's try this one. 110 calories and about 26. Yeah, this is the one we're gonna use. So we were able to find one. It's not the brand that I use, but it's the closest one. So we're going to track. And so there's my breakfast. Yes, I actually eat that sometimes. It's pretty awesome. Okay, you added your first meal. Keep building healthy habits by adding your meals to your diary. Okay, so it's leading me to another feature here. So we're going to go to diary. And nothing happened. Okay, I'm not going to try to track that down, but we're going to check the intermittent fasting. So I'm going to do explore now. So it gives me an explanation of what intermittent fasting is. Tells me that it's made of 2 distinct phases, fasting and eating. And then in order to succeed, stay hydrated, have healthy nutrient-dense meals that will fuel your body. Listen to your body. If you feel dizzy, weak, or lightheaded during a fasting period, it may be time to break your fast. That's fair. I deal with this all the time when I'm on a cut. Avoid the all or nothing mindset. It's okay to not follow a diet 100% of the time. Allowing flexibility to your plan will lead to more sustainable change. That's true and false. So, in my experience. So, what I would say is the all or nothing mindset is the listen to your body. So if you frame it in your mind as listen to your body, if you feel dizzy or weak, then you need to eat more. Like that's part of the flow chart that I use that I posted on Twitter before. I'll post a link to that below. A little editor's note. Um, but if you say avoid the all or nothing mindset, it creates a chance for slip because it's vague. The driving metric for whether it's okay to break that fast or not is vague. But listen to your body, the driving metric is very clear. Who shouldn't fast? If any medical conditions or concerns, consult with your healthcare professional, blah, blah, blah. Okay, next. When we fast, our body goes, okay, so this is like this is like a feature onboarding flow. I don't think about this very often, but it's smart. So I always think about onboarding as being onboarding into the app. This is talking about onboarding into a feature. And what's interesting is they did not, like, it's tempting, and I've run into this, I've made this mistake before. It's tempting to try to put all of your onboarding in the onboarding flow, but the purpose of the onboarding flow is to get the absolute minimum amount of data that you need in order for the app to work, then ask someone to sign in, and then hit them with the paywall starting out. And give like a very small explanation about what you do. So we're going through different fasting stages. Okay, so you can do a custom fasting interval, and that's a premium feature. Okay. It's interesting that they do 3, 6, and 12. I think this actually makes sense for an app that's intended to be where you need longer periods of time to see results. So if they're basically saying you can lose, 4 pounds a month, right? And then most people are not going to hit that because they don't have the discipline typically. Then if they had a monthly, then people could use it for a month, get to the end and see they only lost like a couple pounds or maybe didn't get anywhere. And then they'll be like, oh, God damn it, I don't want to pay again to keep going. And so then they might fall off, they might churn. But with the 3 month, it's interesting because that's enough time where you have to like get invested in the process. Okay, we're going to do balance 12/12. Okay, so 12/12, I have to think about this for a second. Basically, you wouldn't be able to eat from 8 until 8. That's basically what everybody should be doing to begin with. That should be like the standard. 16/8 is pretty hardcore. That's like you're able to eat from, I have to think about this for a second. Yeah, from noon to 8. That's the standard. That's the standard intermittent fasting is you can start at noon, you have to stop at 8. And then this one I'm guessing is kind of in between. What I would have liked to see is the 6 to 8 at the top, and then it say basically like recommended under it. And then the fits almost any lifestyle would go under that, and then the balance at the very bottom. But I do like the explanation for why you'd want each of these. So we'll do the 16/8. And then start time. No, I want to start. It should tell me that I should start not. I want to start at noon, right? Oh, no. It should start me at 8 p.m. It should already give me. It should fill that out for me. It should tell me because that would have been I'll have to go back and look at this video. I can't remember exactly the time it said, but I think it was doing it for right now. I don't want to start my fast right now. It's the morning. Like that's insane. I want this thing to start at the recommended time, which is before I go to bed. Because I'm not going to be eating in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping. That's crazy talk. Okay, stay on track with notifications. Ooh, little issue. I'm on an old phone. I'm on an iPhone 8 Plus, and you can see that they're missing padding on the bottom for my device. Okay, so now let's check because now it knows that I did not allow notifications. So I'm going to open settings. I'm going to allow it. Go back. Okay, so eating window, fasting. It should have that at the top. Eat colorful meals to get all your nutrients. Yeah, it's actually something I remember taking in a nutrition class once upon a time. Start today and tomorrow. It's cool that they have the edit button next to the start time. Why do I have to press a button to start fasting? Oh, we got more missing. We got more missing padding on my device. I don't understand why there's a button to start fasting. Like, it should tell me when I'm fasting. It shouldn't wait for me to start fasting. Maybe the idea is that, like, it can be flexible. So it's like you can start earlier in the day if you need to, like, change it. I don't know. I think this is confusing personally. I think the thing should tell me, like, you're in, you're out, and it should be a hero on this front screen. So it's very obvious. Because if you're intermittent fasting, like, that's more important. That has more of an effect on your day to day. And it's something you need to check in on maybe pretty regularly than, like, your current calorie count. That's just my personal opinion. Like, I would move this calorie count into that macronutrients card, or like put it into a card above those macronutrients and then make the header about the intermittent fasting. Um, okay, so you can do step counter. That's interesting. Okay, get your life score. It's cool they call it pescatarians. Let's do. I don't have any specific preferences. And none. I didn't have any actually. Have those all the time. To be honest with you, I don't eat. Well, I do when I'm on a cut. Let's do twice a day. Color for vegetables, that includes, so I know tomatoes are here. I think it also includes sweet potato. So I'm gonna put in once a day. Okay, there's a lot of questions in this. I'm likely to bounce. Like, I'm already getting fatigued from this. How often did you have root vegetables last week? I don't know. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is crazy. I'm not gonna finish that. Um, Go away, update your weight, nutrition, and sleep. There's a lot going on in this app. So many integrations. Integrations with HealthKit, obviously. Okay, I'm fatigued on this app. This app is too much going on for me. Be interesting to know how this converts, right? Because I would love to see metrics, like feature metrics on this. Um, I wonder if it's like, when I say feature metrics, a lot of people, most people have like a monthly active users chart. But what you can also do is you can do like a feature, like a monthly feature users chart that's broken down by feature. So for example, one feature could be this app probably has like 30 features. But if we're gonna pick like a couple basics, one of them could be like uh, recording your nutrition is one of them. So like hitting this plus button and then doing breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, right? Another one would be recording water. My guess is that the water recording is like very low on the features list, but I'm not sure. Um, and then you have, now this one's a little interesting because you're not necessarily always interacting with this card, so it's hard to get a read on whether people are actively using this feature. But you could have a separate one that is like percent of users who have this feature activated. That would be like a separate thing. Um, Exercise tracking would be another feature. Viewing your progress would be another feature. percent of users who have actually completed a life score. The life score would be interesting to get a um, conversion chart on this. 41 steps, like that's wild. That's really wild. This must be like a 15 or 20 minute thing to do. And it didn't save my progress either. Like this should just be like a list of questions, in my opinion, and each one should like save so that you can resume it later. But yeah, it'd be interesting to do a what do you call it? Oh crap. A conversion funnel on that to see how far down people are actually getting. Even just doing like how many people are opening it, getting to number 10, number 20, number 30, number 40, and then dropping off, or then completing actually. Another feature would be updating your weight. Another feature would be like viewing sleep data. And so then you could have a chart showing how much each people are using each feature. And there will usually be like a handful of standout features, like 3 or 4 features that a lot of people use. And you can tell how balanced your app is to your market by essentially how much discrepancy there is between those. So like in my grocery list app, there's a feature called item history, and like nobody uses that feature. It's basically always at the bottom of that chart, and then everything else is like fairly well balanced, kind of together essentially. So like I could probably get rid of the item history feature and nobody would ever notice. So that's always a really interesting statistic to have. Okay, this is feeling like this video is getting pretty long, so I'm just gonna call it for now. This is a huge app. If you guys or gals have any apps you want me to review, go ahead and put it in the forum below and let me know if you like this content. Thank you very much.